With the NFL wildcard round over and done with, we now move on to some of the serious parts of the playoffs when it comes to the divisional round. And oh boy, we got some interesting matchups to talk about, starting off in the NFC. With the number one seed San Francisco 49ers hosting the red-hot Green Bay Packers, who shocked a lot of people in their 48-32 victory over the Dallas Cowboys, which most people thought was an upset. Man, I love how Jordan Love has been playing right now. Outside of CJ Stroud and most of the other young QBs in the league, there's really nobody else playing at a higher level when it comes to the quarterback position currently. The man has played nearly a flawless game against Dallas last week, completing 76% of his passes with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Romeo Doubs is looking like a true stud at the wideout position right now, along with Luke Musgraves playing well at the tight end position as well. And Aaron Jones is also playing his ass off at the running back position in the backfield as well. And with all that being said, they have a very daunting task this Saturday walking into Levi Stadium versus the 49ers. The level they played at against the Dallas Cowboys was amazing, but they're going to have to play even better versus San Francisco. With the 49ers having a four-headed monster offensive juggernaut to deal with when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, George Kittles, Deebo Samuels, and Brandon Ayuk, that Packers defense is in for a huge test this week. I also feel like the defensive line for the 49ers is daunting for anybody to deal with when it comes to Nick Bosa, Chase Young, and Hargrave as well. And that's not even counting the linebacker core Greenlaw and Fred Warner, who have become the best linebacking duo in the league in my opinion. With the forecast showing possible rain and high winds, this game can get ugly and ugly real quick. Both teams are banged up with a lot of key players on both sides dealing with injuries, which should make for a very interesting build-up to the rest of the week. When it comes to my prediction on the outcome of this game, I have it like this. I think the front seven of the 49ers will get after Jordan Love, along with slowing down that run game of the Packers, ultimately making Jordan Love take more risks, which, in case in point, will put the ball in harm's way one too many times that will seal the Packers' fate. I love what I've seen out of Jordan Love this year, trust me, and he's earned a new contract with Green Bay in my opinion, but the road for the Packers stops here. I think the 49ers will be too tough for the Packers to tame, and ultimately they will fall to the 49ers 31-17. Now moving on, when it comes to the other matchup in the NFC, we got the number 2 seeded Detroit Lions matching up against the very intriguing Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what should be a classic game and a classic tale of the great offense going up against a stout defense. I have to start off by saying that I was dead wrong about Baker Mayfield. The dude has been balling this year, and more than likely has earned a long-term contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the future. When you look at his offense as a whole, they have about 3 reliable targets to throw the ball to, along with having Mike Evans, which should make for an interesting showdown versus a young, hungry Lions defense that's coming and looking to feast after their performance versus the Rams. You got my boy Aiden Hutchinson, who's showing the entire world how good he truly is, as he's going to be a huge X factor, in my opinion, in this particular game. For the Lions to win this game, he's going to have to get constant pressure on Baker along with the other guys on that front four and make him very uncomfortable in the pocket and force him to make a mistake or two. And when it comes to Jared Goff, he's really impressed me this year with his play all season as he continues to perform at a high level with an embarrassment number of riches to throw the football to on the outside. He's got Amon St. Brown, who I believe got snubbed when it came to the Pro Bowl this year, but we're not going to talk about it. He's also got a two-headed monster in the backfield with Montgomery and Gibbs running the football. And along with that, he's got a guy who I believe is well on his way to being a top 5 tight end in this league, and that's Sam Laporta. Now, obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is nothing to play with, as they have a lot of studs as well in nearly every position on that defense, with Vita Vea at the defensive tackle position. They got Dean, Levante, and Devin White at the linebacker positions. You got Antoine Winfield at the safety spot. They got a stout defense, and they definitely will be a major factor in how this game plays out. If they can play a very elite game, who knows what might happen in this game. They could shut the Detroit Lions down. It could be a defensive showing on both sides. You never know. But with the game being played at Ford Field, weather won't be a factor, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a high-scoring game when it comes to my prediction. But I believe this game is gonna be a nip and tuck game for the most part, just like how the Rams game was last week for them. But ultimately, I think the Lions hold on and win 28-24 and reach the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1992. Now, jumping over to the AFC side of the coin, you got two intriguing AFC quarterback matchups that's taking place on the AFC side. Starting off with the number one seeded Baltimore Ravens going up against the Houston Texans this week in Baltimore. Man, I've been really going back and forth in my mind as to who I think can be successful in this game. This game can come down to a lot of different factors. I love the way CJ Stroud has been playing all year long. This dude, if he didn't get hurt with that concussion, he more than likely would have been a dark horse MVP candidate the way he was playing. I mean, the dude's just been balling. Even with his number one receiver going down with a patella injury, being out halfway through the season, he's still been finding a way to get it done and be successful. I got to give DeMeco Ryans a lot of credit as the coach. He's definitely a Coach of the Year candidate. The way he's just turned this franchise around in the blink of an eye for what he's done. Very impressive. You know, their defense actually played well to a certain degree against Joe Flacco, and the Browns, who are clearly frauds. And I'm not even shocked. I picked the Texans to win last week, so I'm not shocked that they were successful in winning. It's not shocking at all. But when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, Lamar, just like I made that video about a month ago, Lamar, he's been shutting me up as of recently for how he's played. I'm not a little Lamar Jackson hater. I like him as a player. I really want him to be successful and win a Super Bowl. Somebody's got to step up to the plate and give, a guy like Mahomes some type of arch nemesis in terms of the statistics and the achievements. He can't be the only person in the AFC with championships while everybody is walking around empty pockets in a way. So I want Lamar. I don't want people thinking I don't want Lamar to be successful. I want him to be successful. He's got to prove it though, And at the end of the day, when it comes to this game, he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. With a stout defense like that, that's probably been one of the best defenses in the league, and not the best defense in the league overall from top to bottom. And having a slew of weapons on the outside to throw the football to along within the backfield, and seeing that they're going to get Mark Andrews back, probably in limited action, but he'll be back. The pressure's going to be on. It's going to be on more than it's ever been. Being the number one seed, he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, along with the defense as well. Everybody's going to need to contribute for them to win this game. I think you're going to have to see a decent dose of Odell Beckham Jr. this game for them to win. When it comes to how I think this game plays out, I think the Ravens will do enough. I think they'll do enough to stifle CJ Stroud, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I think they'll hold him underneath his normal standard in terms of performance, and I think that the Ravens offensively with Lamar, I think as long as he protects the football, I think they'll score enough points to win by a comfortable margin and move on to the AFC Championship game. So when it comes to my prediction, I got the Baltimore Ravens getting to the AFC Championship game by beating the Houston Texans 34-17. I think that's how the game plays out. I think CJ is going to put up a valiant effort, but I just don't think it'll be enough. I think he'll just come up short. I just think they got too many injuries and too many things that's not going their way for them to be successful and win. So I'm going to go with, like I said, the Ravens to win 34-17. Now moving on to probably the biggest matchup of the week, the highly touted third showdown in the playoffs versus when it comes to the Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen battle, Chiefs versus the Bills. It's a game that's been highly touted all week, a game that everybody's looking forward to watch. Game I'm going to be tuning in for sure out of all of these games. I'm going to be watching all of them, but this is going to be the one you want to look forward to the most. Prime time, Sunday night football. It should be very interesting. All the pressure, in my opinion, is on Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team. They beat him earlier this season in Week 14, where they was able to get the win, even though it was a game that was nip and tuck and went back and forth. But the Bills have been in hot since then, winning I think 6 or 7 straight. So, A lot of the pressure, along with everything, is going to be on him. All the Buffalo Bills fans have been talking about how they've been wanting to get the Chiefs in Orchard Park and and have obviously Josh Allen play a home divisional playoff game against Mahomes and having him have to play on the road. Everybody's making it a big deal that Mahomes is playing on the road for the first time in his career, which I don't really think is that big of a deal. He's played obviously 2 Super Bowls basically on the road. It's not that big of a deal for him. Bottom line is it's the playoffs. It's mano y mano. Our man versus your man, team versus team. To me, it don't matter where it's being played. He showed he could play in harsh conditions and win on the road. I mean, even though nobody in the division plays like Josh Allen, I mean, Mahomes is damn near almost undefeated against road divisional opponents. Obviously, it's not the playoffs, but you get my point. He has no problem going on the road. So I think Stephon Diggs and that L'Jarius Sneed matchup is going to be very, very interesting. Whoever wins that matchup really, really might be a big X factor into who wins this game. L'Jarius Sneed has been impressing the hell out of me. I don't know how he didn't make it to the Pro Bowl this year. It blows my mind. But because he's been playing his ass off, earned himself a fat contract in the offseason. Especially what he did to Tyreek Hill in the wild card game last week. Whoever wins that matchup, I feel like it's going to tout whoever's going to win this game. And when I really think about this and break this down, it's really going to be a matchup between, obviously, L'Jarius Sneed and Stephon Diggs. And there's also going to be a matchup between can Rashee Rice, can Travis Kelce, can these guys, if Sky Moore comes back, there's been rumors about him coming back, can these guys improve and play well enough cohesively and not make mistakes and play well enough in a game like this magnitude to be successful? Kelce had like 3 drops last game. Rashee Rice was playing out of his mind, so I'm not really worried about him too much. It's more so about Kelce, which is crazy, and the other pieces around Mahomes, because Mahomes is going to do his thing. I expect Mahomes to play a really, really good game, as he usually does against Josh Allen, as he's shown in the playoffs. So it just more so, it's going to be a team versus team type game. I don't think it's going to be that big of a quarterback showdown. I think this is going to actually be not a low scoring game, but I think it'll be like a 24-21 type game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring, crazy back and forth, because I just don't think either team has the offensive firepower. I know Buffalo's had a lot of guys step up, with Diggs not being the same player as of recently, but I just don't see them putting up, especially with the way the Chiefs defense has been playing all year long. I just don't see them putting up high explosive numbers. I think this is going to be like I said, a 24-21, 28-24 type game. And when it comes to my prediction as to who I think is going to come out on top of this game, I think Josh Allen plays a really, really good game. But I think in the end, he's going to be touted to have the ball at the end. And I think he may make one too many mistakes, and it's going to come back to bite the Buffalo Bills. I think they lose this game in a heartbreaker type fashion, kind of how they lost, not in OT, but just similar in that fashion. I think they lose this game 24-20. I think Mahomes gets back to his, 6th AFC Championship game in a row, if I'm not mistaken. That's how I see that game playing out. Like I said, I'm no expert on these football games, but that's what I think may play out. That's what my predictions are. When it comes to everything else, I can't wait for this week of football. I think it's going to probably be the best week of football, in terms of the playoffs as a whole, in my opinion. I could be wrong, though. The AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game could be a better week. We'll see what happens, but I can't wait for this divisional round on Saturday and Sunday. It should, be very, very interesting. But that's all I got. You guys take it easy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. And turn post notifications on. It really helps the channel out. I want the channel to continue to grow. And thank you guys all for watching. And as always, until we meet again.